Okay? So, there are two forms, no? Basically, the basic principle of your tetanus is one, the dormant type, that is with spores, and the other one is the active form, which are very vegetative. In addition to that, vegetative. These are the type of microorganism that, okay, lives even with extremes of environment. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Alam mo, ang living microorganism, let us have an example, the human beings, mabubuhay tayo pag may oxygen, di ba? Pag may walang oxygen, todas ka na. Now, what about the vegetative? Yun, maski nandun sila napunta sa sugat mo, walang oxygen doon. They are able to manufacture their own oxygen so that they will survive, so that they will multiply, so that they will ensure the life and survival of the next generation of tetanus. Yan yun. Ha? Question so far? Question so far? Alang question? Okay. Kung walang question, diretso na tayo rito. Ayan, sa pathophysiology. In here, makikita nyo sa drawing on my right is an example of a what? An organism which have spores. Take note, may covering siya. Meron siyang protective, the core is protected by several second and third layer of covering and protection that provides them resistance, okay, to disinfectants, okay, to sterilization and boiling, and even resistance to antibiotics. Kasi basically, when you give a patient antibiotic, it destroys some of them, not all, maybe some, destroys this coat. Ito lang ang sinisira niya. Sometimes, itong pangalawang layer ang sinisira niya. Sometimes, they destroy the core, including the RNA and the DNA of the pathogens. Kaya nagkakaroon sila ng total destruction. This you can see, halimbawa, in third generation antibiotics. You can see them in, say, for example, chemotherapeutic agents, especially for cancer cells. Yan yun. Okay? So, this is a strategy, yung spore, no? That is used by bacteria, fungi, protozoa, algae, and etc. to survive to conditions that are too unfavorable to sustain their vegetative growth. Okay? Now, pag sinabi mo kasing vegetative growth, ang microorganism, dalawang klase yan eh, kung bakit sila dumadami. Yung isa, sexual reproduction. Yung dalawa, asexual reproduction. Having now an analogy, tayong mga tao, dadami lang ang lahi natin pag ang lalaki at ang babae nagtabi at gumawa ng baby. Klaro, reproductive yun, ha? Reproduction through male and female through sexual regeneration. Sa vegetative growth, okay? Some of these microorganisms, some of these parasites, like for example in malaria, some of course in dengue, they multiply even without male, even without female. Okay? Ang pagpaparami nila ay sa pamamagitan ng asexual reproduction. We will explore to that when we go to tawag dito, malarial infection. Okay. Basta ang importante, alam nyo na yung vegetative growth. Asexual pala yun. Alam nyo na rin yung sexual, yung pala yung male and female requirement para magka-baby. Okay? So inside the body, these spores develop an active form that multiply and produce a powerful toxin. Therefore, the active form of tetanus is the one that produces these toxins, these two principles of toxin, no? Now, this toxin that is produced, okay, attacks the nervous systems and block the transmission of nerve signals from the spinal cord to, okay, and from the muscle. The reason nagkakaroon niya ng convulsion, nagkakaroon ng muscle twitching. Why? Because they are not properly communicated from one nerve to the next nerve, to the next nerve, etc. Bakit? Sinira nung mikrobyo mo, sinira nung kanyang laso na ginagawa. And what are these toxins that we're talking about? These are one, the tetanus plasmin, and the principle of the tetanolysin. Isa-isayin natin. Pag sinabi natin from the word itself, tetanus plasmin, from the word spasm. So, that principle of tetanus bacteria that produces muscular spasm. Okay? So, pag sinabi mong spasm, involuntary to, hindi ba? Okay, so that the spasmin now causing a clinical, okay, a clinical symptoms of what? Muscular rigidity, muscular spasm, and autonomic irritability. Ayun yon, autonomic irritability. So, ibig sabihin, among other factors, clinical signs of autonomic irritability, parang may pain, parang kinukurot, parang namamanhid, parang gumagalaw, na hindi naman inuutos ng utak. So these are some signs of autonomic instability. Whereas, pag sinabi naman nating tetanolysin, okay, it damages the tissues, okay? And it also produces the breakdown, okay, and destruction of the red blood cells, okay? At the site of inoculation, sabi dito, the tetanus pores enters the body and germinate in the wound. Okay, and germinate in the wound. So ano pumapasok dyan? Yung nursing intervention natin, pag nasugat ka, ang first mo na dapat gawin, continuous, okay, washing through, say, for example, a running water using a medicated soap if possible. Yung green soap natin, mga ganyan-ganyan, pwede natin gamitin yan. Ano? Kasi sabi natin, the process of tetanolysin, among others, produces germination, inoculation, multiplication, where the tetanus or the Clostridium tetani have gained access into your body through an open cut in your skin. Okay. Ano tayo? Dito na tayo sa frame number 5. Sabi dito sa frame number 5, ayan na, no? The generalized tetanus. Okay, so actually, these are your pathognomonic sign. Ano ba nga ulit yung pathognomonic sign? Pathognomonic sign are those signs and symptoms which are usually identifiable to a disease. Okay, ano ba yung identifiable? Okay, pag hindi maisara ang bunganga, okay, hindi maigalaw ang panga, okay, pagkatapos ay nagkakaroon ka ng spasm ng facial muscle, okay, ang tawag dyan, trismus rhesus sardonicus opistotonus. Itong tatlong ito, board item. Huwag nyo kalimutan, ha? Trismus lacjo, okay. Rhesus sardonicus, sardonic smile yan, parang ngiting aso, ngiting ng aasal, because of the spasms of the facial muscles. And there is also opistotonus. Okay, it is progressive and intense muscular spasm. Okay, that leads to the characteristic arcing of the back and fractured. Okay, makikita natin yan. Ano ba yan? Parang ano man tawag din yung opistotonus ng ganun. Hyperextended ang iyong neck. Ang ating likod dapat normal ganyan, di ba? Nakaganyan. Yun naman sa tetanus na opistotonus, baliktad, nakaganon, andito yung ulo. O ganon, no? Ayan, no? Ayan, okay. Oh, lockjaw. Now, bakit sila nagkakaroon ng lockjaw, rhesus sardonicus, at opistotonus? Why? Because part of it, nagkakaroon sila ng effect dun sa inyong 7th cranial nerve. Ano nga yung ating 7th cranial nerve? Ano nga yung 7th? Oliveros? Miss Oliveros?
Yes po, sir.
Ano nga yung 7th cranial nerves natin?
Sir, yung ano po,
Ano ba?
olfactory, optic, oclo po,
Pumipindot ka
trigeminal.
pa, no? Sige, sige. Pumindot ka na. Ano daw?
Rinig po ba, sir?
Ha? Ang hina na, hindi ko
Hello
marinig
po.
masyado
Rinig
eh.
po, sir.
Ang hina, hindi ko marinig. Seventh cranial nerve, ano nga yun? Facial nerve. Di ba alam na natin yung facial nerve? Ashley, Barcelon. Di ba? Alam ba yung cranial nerve natin?
12
Jo-
po.
Ha? Ha?
12 po.
Correct. O ano yung pang-pito? Seventh cranial nerve. Ulitin natin, tatlong O, di ba? On old o bando, tower top, a Filipino soldier guarding villages and homes. Repeat. On old Obando tower top, a Filipino soldier guarding villages and homes. O pampito, ulitin natin. On old Obando tower top, 5 na. A Filipino, the letter F.
Facial nerve po.
O, bigla ka nagulat. Correct, facial nerve. Okay. Now, if the facial nerves are affected, may review niyo yung mga anatomy niyo, mga anak, medyo kinakanana kayo ng mga, kasi third year, ulitin ko sa inyo mga anak, o ulitin ko, wag niyong hayaang nakalayla yung inyong mga pinag-aaralan dyan sa third year. Kasi most of your content sa board exam galing ng third year. Remember that. Ang sabi ko, most, hindi ko sinabing lahat. Most ay manggagaling dyan sa third year. Pag aanga-anga ka dyan sa third year, wala, kamatis ka na. Saan na ba tayo? Nasaan na ako? Nasaan na ako? Nawala na ako.
sir.
Facial nerve. Pag facial nerve ang apektado, halos tatlo ang apekto niya, no? Trigeminal nerve. Okay. Meron kang optic nerve. Tatlo yan tatlong branches yung facial mo Meron kang optic nerve, okay? Meron kang mandibular nerve, at meron kang submaxillary nerve, tatlo. Okay. No, ibig sabihin yan, re-reviewin nyo, huwag nyo kakalimutan kahit paano yung anatomy nyo. Okay? So, kung apekta ang optic nerve, makikita mo may fasciculation, pati ang mata niya apektado. Okay? Pagkatapos, yung submaxillary mo, yan, hindi ka ngayon makanguya, katapos yung jaw, mandibular area, hindi mo maibuka yung bunganga mo. O kaya it gives a physical picture na nakangiti ka na ng inis. Meron ka ngayong rhesus, sardonic smile, aureole, sardonic grin. Yan yun, ha? Okay. What about the local tetanus? Okay. So there is a spasm or near the infected wound. Okay. That is near the site of the injury. Okay. So this condition also may progress into a generalized, okay, generalized spasm. Lalo na magkakaroon generalized spasm if inoculation have already occurred. Yun. Okay, so ayan yun, generalized tetanus, no? So lockjaw spasm of the facial muscles, okay? And in the most severe form, you can see the classic signs, okay? The pathognomonics, which are your trismus, your rhesus sardonicus, and your opisthottonus, okay? So the local tetanus naman manifests with muscle spasm, okay, or near the infected wound. Meron din tayong cephalic tetanus, okay? Now, sabi dito, one or more muscles in the face in 1 or 2 days after a head injury or ear infection. Lockjaw occurs that can easily progress to generalized tetanus. Okay? At lalong-lalo na sa maraming kaso na naengkwentro ko sa PGH, yung ear infection, either middle ear o kaya doon sa inyong internal ear infection. simpleng tuga ng mga bata, nagluluga at saka na-infection yung tenga, nauuwi sa tetanus, magtataka ka, no? On assessment and history taking, pag tinanong mo yung nanay, diagnosis tetanus, nasugatan ho ba, nalaglag, o kaya napunita, nahiwa, naglaro ng blade, natusok ng kung ano-ano, all negative ang history. Pero you'll come to know na kaya pala yung pasyente mo ay natetano dahil nagkaroon ng infection sa tenga. Bakit natin to sinasabi nito? Kasi later on, when you yourself become parents, huwag niyong babawali-walain pag nagkaroon ng ear infection yung inyong pasyente. Bakit? Resulta, tetanus. Buti kung tetanus lang, medyo magaang-gaang panggamutin. Again, in so many cases I have seen, yung pasyente mo nagkaroon ng meningitis, encephalitis, okay? Nagkaroon ng hydrocephalus, at nagkaroon din siya ng death. Coma, death. Samantalang yun, nagsimula sa tuga, namatay na yung anak mo. Okay? And then, sa neonatal tetanus. Okay? Now, the effect in neonatal tetanus is also somewhat, you can see them as generalized tetanus. Kasi nga makikita mo, yung characteristics spasm. Kasi whole body. Kaya neonatal from the word newborn tetanus. So being a newborn that is victimized by this tetanus infection, most probably, okay, alam mo na kung ano nangyari. Bakit ba nagkakaroon ng neonatal tetanus? Now, lalo in Muslim countries, okay? Marami doon, paglabas ng bata, okay, tinutuli na agad-agad. O ngayon, kung tinuli ng gano'n, ano nangyari kung marami yung ginamit na instrument? Okay, not only that, pag newborn, ang daming ini-inject. Halimbawa, i-inject mo yan ng vitamin K o mga ganyan ba? Tapos na-infection na, tetanus na pala yung di ba? So these are some of the causes of your neonatal tetanus. Okay. Whereas yung cephalic, although rare, involving the seventh cranial nerve, though, usually the signs and symptoms, okay, appears 1 or 2 days after head injury, ear infection, okay, that will be manifested by lockjaw. Okay. So there is weakness of the facial muscle. In 2/3 of the cases, there will be generalized tetanus that will develop. At usually yung pasyente namamatay saan? Namamatay yan sa mga inability to suck. Hindi makadede, walang dede, ayaw dumede, walang gana. Sumusuka yung pasyente mo, the patient becomes malnourished, the patient becomes dehydrated, the patient is dead. Okay? So the treatment, no, siyempre naman, wound care. Yun, sinabi natin kanina. Plain cleaning with soap and water to remove the dirt, foreign body, and dead tissue that may be present. Bakit dead tissue? Kasi dead na yan eh. Tawag natin dyan, necrotized tissue. Okay. So how would you remove that? Okay. So gugupitan natin yung mga dead tissue, especially if the injury produced irregular edges. Irregular edges, kasi pag irregular edges, hindi na yun healing by first intention. Iba yun eh. Kasi pag first intention healing sa sugat, ibig sabihin, alam mo, nahiwa ka ng blade. Now, the separated tissue na nahiwa, straight ang cut niyan, hindi irregular ang edges. Meaning to say, if not deep, if not severe, healing will take place along its natural course. Magdidikit yan, hindi na kailangan tahiin, etc., etc. Kasi malapit yung distance nila. First intention healing yon. Now, pag second intention healing, the distance from each of the sides ay medyo malayo. Okay? It is not near or not approximated. So therefore, before healing will occur, you have to apply effort para yun ay paglapitin, pagkatapos yun ay tahiin ng isa, dalawa o tatlo. Okay? Second intention healing yan. Now, pag third intention healing of the wound, ibig sabihin, the edges are far. Number 2, the wound is deep. Okay? Usually, you anticipate for a scar formation before they will heal. Okay? Ibig sabihin, magkakaroon mo ng granulation tissue formation bago sila maglapit, bago magdikit yung mga edges, and often than not, they require suturing and longer time to heal. And nagkakaroon ng scar, yung sugat. Ha? Tawag natin dyan, third intention healing. Okay. Now, supportive therapy naman. Okay, so you can give and expect long periods, no? Long periods of hospitalization or treatment in the ICU setting, wherein usually you can see what? You can see there what? Sa ICU, ano ba makikita natin? In the ICU, you can see their ventilators, respirator machine, and or the Drinker Collins machine. Yan yung usually, the patient cannot breathe on their own and therefore spontaneous breathing, if absent, can be supplemented by ventilator, respirator, or Drinker Collins machine in an effort to maintain the lungs to have some few amounts of air when the patient exhales so that the lungs will not result into atelectasis or lung collapse. We do not want that kasi pag nag-lung collapse yung pasyente mo, atelectasis, the patient may die. Why? Because of the lack of oxygen that needs to be delivered into the tissues of the body. Okay, but watch out. Well, how do we watch out? Nagbibigay ka ng oxygen sa iyong pasyente. You also have to take care and watch for over administration of oxygen. Oxygen is good, okay, but in excess of the oxygen, magkakaroon ng oxygen toxicity. It is very common, very common in the hospital. Akala nyo nag-oxygen ka. Alam mo na kagad kasi pag yung pasyente yan, halimbawa, nagkaroon ka ng pasyente, ang pasyente mo mayroong COPD, as in chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Pag may COPD pasyente mo, limited ang lung tissue expansion yan, meaning the alveoli cannot accommodate the volume of air, the normal volume of air that you inhale. Ano nangyayari? Kasi nga may sakit yung kanilang alveoli. Ano sakit? May mga tubig doon, may mga plema doon. At pagkatapos, the elasticity of the alveoli is already lost, meaning the capacity of the alveoli to expand, to accommodate the air that we breathe is already lost. Kumbaga sa goma, wala na sila nun wala nang higit. Hindi mo na mahihigit. Todo na yun It results now into oxygen toxicity. If the oxygen that the patient inhales cannot be exhaled out in the form of carbon dioxide, oxygen toxicity results. And what are the signs and symptoms that you can see if the patient is suffering from oxygen toxicity? The patient will be having coughing, okay? There will be pulmonary irritation, yan. Ayan yun, sign yun, ubo ka ng ubo, dahak ka ng dahak, mga ganon. There will be chest pain also, okay? Nag-hyperventilate yung iyong pasyente, okay? In an effort to exhale more carbon dioxide. So nagkakaroon ng trouble breathing yung pasyente mo. So there is flaring of the Ala-Nachi. Pag yung pasyente mo ay humihinga, nakikita mo yung butas ng ilong niya, okay? Sumasabay ng laki at saka lumiliit, lumalaki, lumiliit ng ganon. Dapat kasi ang normal breathing, it should be calm, it should be quiet. Yan ang mga normal breathing. Okay? There will be twitching in the face and hands, no? Dizziness, and there will be blurred vision and nausea. Okay? Now, of this oxygen toxicity, ang very much common na i-compare ng pasyente mo, manlalabo yung mata niyan. Tapos there will be dizziness and agitation. pakiramdam niya mamamatay na siya kasi nahihirapan huminga, hindi nanlalabo ang kanyang paningin, nahihili yung pasyente mo. Pagkatapos nananakit yung dibdib mo niya, nasusuka yung pasyente. Yan ang unang mga complaints ng inyong pasyente. Especially during the first stages of oxygen toxicity. Okay? Okay. So, ano pa? The safety profile. Okay. So, there must be efficient penetration into the wounds and abscesses and negligible CNS excitation. Huh? Oh, what about the vaccines? Oh, the vaccines. Okay. So, yung vaccines natin, dalawang klase, no? Yung treatment is your anti-tetanus vaccine. Okay? So, meaning to say, ayan talaga ang papatay sa Clostridium tetani. Now, they come in several commercial preparation. Usually, I said usually, 1,500 unit per ml of ampule. Okay? Ang ginagamit namin na brand name noon yan Marsman. 1,500. Araw-araw niya siguro, hindi lang 20 na i-inject ko ng mga tao. Labas-pasok sa ospital, labas-pasok. Tat ng tat ang binibigay namin o kaya yung TIG or TT. Dito muna tayo sa anti-tetanus vaccine. Okay? Pag sinabi mong tetanus antitoxin, horse serum yan usually horse serum. So meaning, galing sa kabayo, galing sa hayop, i-inject mo sa tao, skin testing is required. So pag negative yung pasyente mo, positive yung pasyente mo, huwag mo ibibigay. Otherwise, magkakaroon ng serum sickness. Very common yan, serum sickness yung pasyente mo. Tinatanong sa board exam yun, one of the most common complication of your tetanus antitoxin and other vaccine, serum sickness. Okay. Now, pag TIG naman, pareho lang yan tetanus immunoglobulin or your tetanus toxoid. Okay? Now, mahuli tayo dito. Okay? So, anong dapat dyan? Ano ba para saan yan? As compared to your TAT. Now, your toxoid shortens the course of tetanus and may lessen the severity of symptoms that may arise. Yan ang iyong TIG or TT. Pag TT, it's for the cure or treatment. Claro, so we can now differentiate it, no? So it is very important na ibibigay natin nga yung mga TT na yan as a prophylactic or preventive, okay, management doon sa mga buntis na nanay. Yan yun, Ngayon, tawag dito, tanong, yung TT mo, human serum yan Ibig sabihin, galing sa tao, inject mo sa tao, no need for skin testing. However, ang sabi ko, wag ka magtaka kung meron doktor na mag-order sa inyo, paki-skin test naman, TT, ay tawag dito. Toxoid yung ating pasyente. Sir, human serum to human, no need for skin testing. Siyempre, doktor yan, Kukulitin ka niyan lahat. Lalo yung mga intern. Yung mga intern ng ganyan, estudyanteng doktor pa lang yun Minsan, di nila yan alam. Magtatanong yan sa nurse. Di ba bonggang-bongga ka? Doktor nagtatanong sa'yo, samantalang, di ba, ulilang nurse ka lang. Kumbaga, ulilang cowboy. You feel proud of yourself. Sabi na, pareho lang tayo. Doktor ka lang, nurse ako. Pero pareho nating alam yan. Kaya nga, lagi ko sinasabi, marami na ako na-experience ganyan. Nung panahon na hindi pa masyadong sikat ang mga nurse, okay? Kung lait-laitin tayo ng doktor, ganun na lang di ba? Pero alam niyo ba, once in my life, it is in the year 2000 to about 2004, I used to handle doctors, midwives, attorneys, yung abogado, dentist, na nagsi-second course from nursing, from their profession to nursing. Dami ko nahawakan ng mga doktor, Ang dami na sa kanilang bobo. Nagturo ako one time sa kanila ng CD, hindi nga nila alam yung CD. Takot na takot sa akin yung mga doktor. Sabi ko, pagkakataon ko na, gantihan ko ng mga kuneho na to. Inaaway-away nito ang mga nurse Kaya nga sinasabi ko, kung kayo Boflax, inaway-away ka ng doktor, pasensya ka, Boflax ka Pero by nature of the profession naman, siyempre, know how to act. Huwag naman masyadong mayabang. May masama naman yung mayabang. Pwede naman silang i-correct. You always say it in a nice manner. Dapat ganun. Di ba? Doktor, bigla nagsiksika ng mga doktor sa nursing nun. Bakit? Hindi naman sila tinatanggap sa Amerika nurse lang Ang mga doktor dito pagdating doon, nurse. Karamihan doon, mag-aaral pa ulit sila ng mga 5 years, 6 years, 7 years bago sila makapag-practice ng medicine sa Amerika. Kaya karamihan doon, bago mag 3 or 4 or 5, magna-nursing sila, mag-aaral ng nursing doon ulit. Pag nagkaroon sila ng chance na makaapak na Amerika, ganun yun. Okay. So let us now go to the medications, no? Okay. Now basically, yung ating medications ng ganyan, diba, ay basically made up of 3 and other supportive medication. Number 1 is antibiotics. Actually, the first line of drug is penicillin. Okay, penicillin, sodium, potassium, ano pa ba yan? Bensantin penicillin. Mga penicillin yan at saka penicillin derivative. However, okay. Ngayon, ang current trend, ang ginagamit na natin ay metronidazole. Okay. Ang metronidazole, yan ay tawag dito, ang pangalan niya minsan Flagyl. Okay. Now, sir, bakit ganon? Kasi nga, mas gentle mas gentle ang iyong metronidazole. Okay? Less chance of. And then pangalawa, it also is very good in delaying the growth of bacteria. Number 3, it also prevents formation of abscess in a bacterial infection. Yan yun. Metronidazole. Okay. Now, yung metronidazole, merong oral yan Okay? Meron din yung tinatawag na vial. So, ibig sabihin, solution yan, mga 50 ml in a vial, no? Tapos, yung vial na yon, minsan mag-order yung doktor sa'yo. Ang order ng doktor, give metronidazole 1 gram IV. Now, kasi paano ko gagawin yon? Ibibigay mo yun as drip. As drip mo siya ibibigay. Ano yung as drip? Ibig sabihin yung 50 ml, similar to that of your distilled water bottle vial, okay? Turn it upside down. Lagyan mo ngayon dito ng dalawang, what do you call this? Plaster. Parang swero, okay? Tapos itusok mo doon yung IV tubing. Tapos isabit mo. Di meron ka ng maliit na swero. That is the way how to give it. As drip. Metronidazole, Okay? Okay, so next, we'll go to sedatives, no? Now, sedatives in the form of benzodiazepine, no? Sedatives such as benzodiazepine, no? Sedative kasi yan And ibig sabihin, may kirot, okay? May spasm, relax. Muscular spasm, it also helps to control, okay? Example of which is your Valium, your diazepam, your triazepam, your lorazepam. Claro? Your lorazepam. And should I say, Ativan, benzodiazepine yan. Claro yan Valium, diazepam, triazepam, and your Ativan. Sa board exam, ang common, itong tatlo. Valium, diazepam, and Ativan. Ganyan tatandaan niya. Makikita niyo sa board exam niya mga word na yan. And then the other sedative that is required is your phenothiazine. Okay, the most common commercial name are phenobarbital. Sa nurse ang tawag natin dyan, PB. or phenobarbital. Okay? And the other one is sodium luminant. Okay? Sodium luminant. Okay. Now, para saan ito? Yan yung parang ano yan. It also helps to prevent, tawag dito, acting as sedative also, pampatulog, pampaantok, and then to also prevent, okay, involuntary muscular spasm. Okay. Now, in tetanus injection, ng ganito, tetanus kasi, nirule out din natin dyan yung tinatawag nating strychnine poisoning. Ano spelling nun? S-T-R-I-C-H. N-I-N-E. Strychnine poisoning. Kasi bago tayo mag-diagnose na iyan ay tawag dito, tetanus, tingnan natin baka yan na may strychnine poisoning naman. Now, pag sinabi natin strychnine poisoning, this is one anesthetic derivative wherein yung pasyente natin nagkakaroon ng mga tetanus signs. Kala mo na tetano. Yung pala na injection na ng strychnine or anesthesia yung pasyente. I remembered when I was younger, no? Trabaho na ako sa PGH, no? Meron sa akin lumapit na barkada ng utol ko. Tinatanong ako, Ted, didensya mo naman ako na strychnine. Sabi niya, gano'n. Sabi ko, alam ko na yung gagawin. Sabi ko, natawa lang ako sa kanya. Kasi ang ginagawa niya doon, yung gamot na yun, ini-inject niya sa manok. Can you just imagine pag in-inject niya yung sa manok na panabong, magkakaroon ng muscular spasm, maninigas yung paa. Hindi na makakapalo yung kung merong kutsilyo o tare yung manok niya. Eh doon siya pumusta sa kabila para sigurado siyang panalo. Tawa ko ng tawa. So that's it. I-rule out mo yung strychnine poisoning. So other drugs as a matter of medication for tetanus includes magnesium sulfate, okay, per orem or IV, okay, given at 30 mg per kilogram body weight. So importante talaga, sukat na sukat, 30 mg per kilogram of body weight. This is one importance. Bakit yung ating pasyente on initial admission dapat nating titimbangin yung ating pasyente. Ito mo naalala ko tuloy yung aking pasyente noon Ganyan halos din ang klase dahil kinukumbuls yung pasyente, dala-dala na lagnat yung pasyente, buwat-buwat ng nanay niya ng ganun. Kasabi-sabi ko, ali po kayo din timbang ho kayo. Kargahin niyo yung inyong baby. Pagkatimbang niya, kinuha ko yung baby, o sabi ko sa kanya, Mrs. kayo naman po ang tumimbang. Di tumimbang siya. Tapos pagbalik ko ng baby niya, minura niya ako. Galit siya. Sabi ko, tangina mo mamamatay ng anak mo, patimbang-timbang ka pa. Siyempre, nagalit ako. Alam mo naman ang PGH, no? So this is a morbid hospital, no? Teaching hospital, public hospital, wherein yung paligid niya, puro mga, what do you call this? Squatter, ang mga laki. Ano ba nandiyan? Ermita, Malate, San Andres, Santa Cruz, Pandacan, di ba? Yung yan ang mga gunggong ng mga community na nasa paligid. Yan talagang butangero, nangaaway. Salbahay din na kaya ako noon. Sabi ko, putangin mo ka rin, gago ka. Hindi ikaw may-ari ng ospital. Okay? Pag inulit mo yan, hindi na kita tatanggapin dito sa emergency. Kahit kanino ka pa magsumbong, dali mo pa yung lolo mo rito. Kasi, pag hindi ka nagganon sa kanila, ulit-ulitin nila yung gagawin. Bakit ulit-ulit? Wala naman pupuntahan niya kundi PGH O, di ba? Biro mo, nagtatrabaho ka ng ayos, bigla kang mamurahin, hindi mo naman kaano-ano. Sabi ko, ako pag gago, diyan ako lumaki, no? Diyan ako pinanganak. Ngayon, dito mahimik siya. Kaya ako tinitimbang yan. Yung anak mo, kinukumbulsyon. Okay? Pag tumagal ang kumbulsyon, may sisira, mamamatay ang utak niya. Magiging bobo lalo. Okay? Magiging balido. Magiging paralitiko. Pag alam ko ang timbang niya, pag alam ko ang timbang yung dalawa, yung timbang yung dalawa, ibabawas ko sa timbang niya, alam ko na ang timbang ng anak mo. Pag alam ko ang timbang ng anak mo, alam ko kung kaano karaming gamot ang ibibigay ko para hindi siya convulsioner. Naintindihan mo? Opo, sabi niya. Ganun lang. Sometimes people cannot understand it. At alam naman natin, yung mga doktor, hindi yan magbibigay ng time. Karamihan dyan, di magbibigay ng time para mag-explain. And this is one reason. I am requiring my students, okay, na sana yung health teachings, mabuti ka dyan. Mainam ka dyan. Kasi karamihan ng nurse, hindi rin marunong mag-health teachings eh. Parang ang kanilang pakiramdam, pag marunong sila mag-inject, marunong sila mag-BP, nurse na sila. Gonggong, hindi ganun ang nurse. Naintindihan mo? Dapat ang nurse na like you, loaded with talent, scientific thinker. Hindi dapat yung mga paganong-ganon. Nag-BP ka, nurse ka na. Nag-inject ka, nurse ka na. Wait mong may asin. We'll go to the next one. Kayla, gising ka pa ba, Kayla? Kayla?
Yes po.
Okay, gising ka pa. Good. Okay, let's go to the next one. We'll go to your clinical test o symptoms. So we go to your spatula test. Okay. So with the use of your spatula, or in most cases, ang ginagamit natin dyan ay depressor, tongue depressor minsan ang tawag natin dyan. Tongue depressor test, wherein the posterior pharynx is touched with a portion of your tongue depressor. Okay? Now, kung sinundot mo ng ganon, pagkatapos ay, ibig sabihin sa bandang likod ng pharynx, tapos diniin mo ng ganon ang dila sa banda dun sa pharynx mo, yung pasyente mo ay parang magkakaroon ng gag. Okay? Parang masusuka, parang madadahak, parang nabibilaukan. Gag reflex ang tawag natin dyan. Okay? And the patient tries to repel and expel the tongue depressor. Negative test yun. Negative. Okay? Ngayon, positive naman, if it results in involuntary contraction of the jaw. Okay? That is involuntary, Usually, the patient bites back the tongue depressor. Kinakagat niya. Ayaw niya, may resistant, pinipigil niya. Alisin mo or wag mong ipasok lalo sa ibandang ibaba. Positive yun, O ngalit, pagka yung naman pasyente ay parang gusto niya na tawag dito, i-repel, isuka o merong resistance, ayan yan. Negative spatula test. Okay, so just a preview again of your TAT and your TT vaccine. Okay, let's go to the TAT. Ano ngayon? What about the TAT? Okay, your tetanus antitoxin, okay, is an immunoglobulin that is intended to fight and detect the antibodies that is present in your blood serum or in the blood serum of the affected person. Okay, it also neutralizes the toxin that is produced by the microorganism, which is your Clostridium tetani. Okay, this is also used to provide temporary passive immunity. Okay, passive immunity. And the next, contraindication. Kailan hindi pwedeng ibigay. Okay, so it should not be used for prophylaxis if the anti-tetanus immunoglobulin is available or the patient is allergic to. Okay, so give the test dose. Give the test dose. Okay, or sometimes kung yung doktor ay medyo tinatamad, the doctor advises to give it in fractional doses or divided doses. Repeat, ngayon nyo lang narinig yung fractional. So like for example, in diphtheria, okay, the doctor will order 20,000 unit dahil yun ang required na i-inject sa pasyente. Pero alam mo na, very lethal, very dangerous, very poisonous ang bakuna na ibibigay mo sa pasyente. Pag sinabi niya, please give in fractional dose, sabi ng doktor, usually yung 20,000 unit binibigay namin. Initial or first dose, 5,000 unit. Okay. Pagbigay namin, we observe the patient. If the patient is asymptomatic, no signs of toxicity, etc., we give the next second dose. We give another 5 and then observe again the patient for 15 minutes. So, ibig sabihin, 5 and 5, 10 na. 10 na ulang natitira. And the third and the final third dose, we give after 5 minutes, 10 na yon. Ibig sabihin, hindi na magkakaroon most certainly yung pasyente mo ng untoward reaction. Halimbawa, serum sickness, pwede rin magkaroon yung pasyente mo ng anaphylactic shock secondary to the vaccine that is given. These are now less likely because you have given the drug in a fractionalized or divided dose, no? Okay. So they are usually given in units. Now, in cases of tawag dito, acute cases, no? Okay, in acute cases and then not so or moderate cases, ang binibigay natin ay IM, okay? Pero in some cases, lalo doon sa mga tetanus neonatorum, baka magulat ka, okay? Naka-high dose yun. Ang ibibigay mo doon, o-order yung doktor, give TAT or tetanus antitoxin, 200,000 unit. 500,000 units IV. Okay. Can you just imagine ang binibigay mong TAT, 1.5 lang IM, yung pasyente mo, yung doktor mo nagbibigay ng 200,000 international unit, 200 IU. So, IV on. But if you give them, you have to give them very slow IV bolus. Okay, let's go to your tetanus toxoid. Okay, so for prevention or prophylaxis, we give tetanus toxoid, no? Okay, recommended for all ages with booster shots throughout life. Okay, now, kasi bibigay mo yan di ba? 1, 3, 5 months. Okay, and then sometimes ang fourth and final dose niyan can be given anytime after 10 years. Anytime after 10 years. But if you are not sure whether or not the patient, yung last dose niya, tapos hindi pa siya nakakumpleto ng bakuna, you can give your toxoid at any time. At any time. To be sure. Kasi baka ma-infect yun kasi hindi niya alam kung kailan yung huling dose niya. Hindi niya alam kung kailan yung booster o meron siyang booster dose, etc., etc. Okay? Now, usually, yung mga booster dose ng gano'n, it's only a supplement injection so as to booster. Ang ibig sabihin, to strengthen, okay, the dose of the vaccine that had been previously given. Merong booster dose. O, diba? Diyan nung nauso yung COVID, hindi ba may booster tayo? Una, isa, dalawa, tapos nagkaroon ng third booster dose. Ako hindi na ako nagpa-booster dose kasi nakakatakot kasi hindi pa experimental pa yung ating COVID vaccine last time. Kaya among others at maraming Pilipino, hindi na nagpunta lalo maski na aged and senior, hindi na nagpabakuna ng third and last booster dose. Anyway, buhay pa naman ako. Okay. So, for pregnant women, okay? Now, during pregnancy, okay, sabi dito, pregnant women should be immunized against the tetanus that could prevent from what? From occurrences of neonatal tetanus, okay? What we call as your tetanus neonatorum, okay? So how do we give this toxoid to pregnant mothers? No, we have to administer at least 2 doses before delivery. Okay, the first dose as soon as the mother recognizes pregnancy, and the second dose at least 4 weeks after the first and at least 2 weeks before the due date. So tatlo yan, di ba? Okay, now after delivery, okay, how do we give the TT now in pregnant mothers? they have to continue vaccination as described in the table. Okay, alam niyo yung sabi natin, 135, di ba? Okay. And then, until such time that the 5 doses that is required is given, 1357. Okay. Kaya lang, in most cases, yung mga ibang doktor, pag naka 135 ka, that they are considering that you are already protected from tetanus. Let us now go to tetanus neonatorium, no? So, usually second or third day after birth, doon na magmamanifest kung yung pasyente, yung baby, nagkaroon ng tetanus neonatorium. What are the signs and symptoms during assessment? Dysphagia, okay? Magkakaroon ng irritability, muscle spasm, and rigidity. As we have said, the baby will become irritable. Ano ba yan? Frequent crying, okay? Agitation, feeling heat, okay? Kakaroon ng anxiety yung pasyente nyo. Poor sucking, poor reflex, and of course, yung nakakatakot, convulsion. So how do we treat them? So clean the wounds thoroughly, give Valium and sedatives to reduce the severity of the muscular spasm, okay? And then TT and tetanus antitoxin, antibiotics, supportive treatment like oxygen and NGT, okay? O2 and NGT. And then tracheotomy PRN for obstruction of airway. Tracheotomy in tawag dito in emergency situation. But if the patient needs to have a supported tube for breathing, okay, wherein the patient can have either difficulty breathing or absence of spontaneous breathing, a tracheostomy with an S is required rather than a tracheotomy. However, the end result of a tracheostomy, the nursing objective, medical objective, is to remove the tracheostomy as soon as you can so that the patient, like the baby, will not be totally dependent on the tube that is inserted via tracheostomy. Ayaw natin yun. Ang gusto natin, hihinga yung ating pasyente sa sarili nilang effort, hindi sa tulong ng tubo o kaya ng respirator. Yan yun. Tanong sa board exam, gano'n ba katagal? Okay, ideally, it is 5 to 7 days only. Ngayon, kung mga chronic cases, halimbawa may polio ka, o di ba? Tapos anterior yung problema mo, motor neuron, sometimes forever yun. O kaya kung hindi naman, ilagay ka dun sa iron lung machine. Okay, neonatal pregnancy. Okay, sabi dito. So the mother, alam na natin yan, immunization. Okay. Childbearing age, TT, etc. Mother and through a transfer of tetanus, antibodies to the fetus and also her baby during prophylactic doses of your tetanus toxoid. Now, sa neonatal naman, it is very dangerous. Karamihan ang nakita ko to siguro yung nagkakaroon ng mga neonatal tetanus. 2 hanggang 3. Out of 10, namamatay yung pasyente. Yan, okay? O dito nga, tingnan mo, dami, 4 million deaths worldwide occur every year and accounts for 2/3 of infant mortality. Okay? And then the danger of the neonates of non-immunized mother. Bakit? Kasi nawawalan sila ng passive type of immunity. Kaya gano'n, nagkakaroon ng tetanus yung baby. Okay? Now, the death occurred before the infant is 2 weeks old. Take note, because the baby, aside from not having a very efficient respiration, yung kanilang mucociliary activity of the ability of the lungs to produce mucus to help in the foreign body expulsion, to prevent for tawag dito what do you call this? Irritation of the alveoli when the patient breathes and fills their alveoli with air kasi nagkakasugat, kulang kasi ng padulas or mucus. Okay? And of course, neonatal by epidemiology is increased in developing and poorly developed communities in the third world countries, no? And one of the causes, as again, are unsanitary cord care and use of contaminated and or unsterile equipments. Okay, question so far. Question, Miss Bacane, Mr. Bacane.
Wala naman po, sir.
Very good. Okay, we'll have a bladder break. In my timepiece, it is 10 o'clock. Siguro umihi muna kayo. No? Bisitahin nyo muna yung mga duwende sa CR for 5 or 10 minutes. I'll be back. Everybody will be back after 10 minutes. Go ahead.